for example. And as I said, this needs to be harmonized in this, let's say it's over C major, right? Leading to an F. Now, the way I explain this, the chord tones 1, 3, 5, 6 get the C6, A minor 7 chord, and the other notes get the diminished chord, as in B, D, F, A flat diminished, on the same chord in words. So if I harmonize it this way, this becomes actually it becomes this. So sometimes that doesn't really work out too well. So there's two ways we can look at it. One is we just extending the chord and adding other notes to it. Like, you know, this chord, this A minor 7 C6 shape. We add the 11 to it. Or when we do this, we also add the 9 to it. Well, the 9 if we see it as an A minor, the major 7 if we see it as a C major. Also happens to be the same chord as a E minor 7 or G6. So, you know, you can either borrow from the scale up a fifths, or you can see it as borrowing from the diminished, because these notes are here, right? So this note is borrowed from the diminished. So then this whole thing we just did, that becomes and if we want to practice this, we can go in cycles. We can do the whole thing as becomes something like in general, we can also, you know, we could use a real book tune like I said in the first example, like Fly Me to the Moon, and just harmonize it by the chords. Let's just look at some 2-5-1 options and those extended chords. So if we have as a melody over if we harmonize it with that system, it becomes this D minor 7 will keep. It's an inversion with the 7 in the bass, obviously. So this becomes straight up F major 7. This note borrowed from the diminished. Straight up G7. But what if we make it actually something else, like a G9 or 13 actually? Again, this note borrowed from where? From its diminished, so G9, and then D flat 7, the tritone stuff for G7, and let's borrow from its diminished closing becomes. Or let's just, use some simple melodies. Would be the chords that would be expected there. Or we could go with that note G again. Borrowed from its diminished. Let's go with an F major again. That E note. Again, borrowed from the diminished, no? It's kind of lame. So why don't we make it a D flat 7, D flat 9, or A flat minor 6, however you like to look at it, to right? If we do something like this. F6 or D minor 7, F major 7 or D minor 9. So straight up F6 D minor chord for the D minor sound. Then we borrow the E note from the diminished, otherwise it would be this sound. This one is again the borrowing from the diminished, except this diminished borrows from its own diminished. As in, if we were in G7, we have these chords. In this case, what we just had. Or if we have a melody that's more your typical A harmonic minor type resolution with the double 7 in there. So we could go for the D minor 7 with this. Again, D minor 7 or D minor 11 actually. And with a 9 on top. And the F major. A flat diminished for G7 flat 9. Same thing. This one. Just an extended diminished. So with the thing with diminished, it works best on the middle voices, but you can actually raise every one of those voices a whole step. That's your options for diminished. Obviously you can do it over here too. Instead of and then one more, let's use so this, I just moved the 7 down there, and this is borrowed from the diminished again. This one we had. Then this one is new. That's a G9 sharp 11. It also can be seen as coming from this diminished. Remember the half step would make a diminished scale? So what we're playing is but this one borrows the notes from this one. So essentially it's and this, since I haven't mentioned it, is just a C add 9 or an A minor 11. So that thing again was